In breaking news, major new calls for South Carolina to take down that Confederate flag, the one flying in front of the State House. Controversy erupting following the racially motivated murders of 9 people, including a state senator, at the historic black church in Charleston, South Carolina. Senators Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott joining South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley as she made the announcement.
The General Assembly wraps up their year this week, and as governor, I have the authority to call them back into session under extraordinary circumstances. I have indicated to the House and the Senate that if they do not take measures to ensure this debate takes place this summer, I will use that authority for the purpose of the legislature removing the flag from the State House grounds.
Congressman Trey Gowdy represents South Carolina in the House of Representatives. He joins us. Good evening, sir. And I'm curious whether you join your governor and the 2 senators, Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator Tim Scott, in calling for that flag to come down from the state capitol grounds.
Yes, ma'am. I read Senator Scott's statement this afternoon, and Greta, I talked to him on the way over to the studio, and I agree with every syllable of his statement. To me, that flag is a symbol of our past, but it is not symbolic of our present or our future. And if it is in your past, if it is a symbol of your past, I think it is best housed in the South Carolina Museum.
Just as an aside, how refreshing to see all the members of the delegation standing together on this one, and state and federal. That it's very refreshing. At least I think it is, and good for all of you. All right, let me turn now to the question of these emails. What are these new emails that have been released by your committee?
Well, it's a whole lot more from Sidney Blumenthal than we ever got from the State Department or Secretary Clinton, by a factor of about 3 times more from Sidney Blumenthal. These emails should have been produced to us long ago. They relate to Benghazi, Libya, weapons, all of the key words that we've been asking for. And for reasons that I cannot tell you because I have not been told myself, either Secretary Clinton didn't turn them over to the State Department or the State Department didn't turn them over to us. But in either event, they should have been part of the public record a long time ago, and they were not.
And shame on Secretary Clinton and the State Department for not turning over these documents, these emails, if they're required to. That's the first issue. The second issue is, did you find something in these emails? I mean, they should have been turned over, regardless of their content. But was there any content that advances the investigation?
Well, Greta, I think what's most important is Sidney Blumenthal didn't have any idea what was in these memos that he was forwarding. He was merely a conduit. He didn't draft them. He doesn't know the first thing about Libya. He's never been to Libya. So that does call into question why Secretary Clinton would receive so many emails from him. As you will recall, she said that these emails were unsolicited. She and I have a very different definition of the word unsolicited because she said, keep them coming. This is good stuff. This is useful information. All of which is antithetical to being unsolicited. And we also got a little glimpse into Sidney Blumenthal, and he was not a Libya advisor, but he was a political advisor, and he had a lot of advice from Secretary Clinton on how to claim credit for the success in Libya, and also some 2012 observations that he made that we found instructive.
I know Sid Blumenthal. Everybody in town, I think, knows Sid, and he's an old friend with the Clintons. Do you get the sense this is just, like she's being, just receiving emails from an old friend? Is there any indication that she acted on any email that Sidney Blumenthal, other than to forward it to someone else? Did she take any diplomatic action or do anything on behalf of the United States because of his emails?
Well, we don't know, and in fairness to Secretary Clinton, I will not speculate. You are correct. She did forward the information on. I do find it vexing, given the fact he's never been to Libya. He's not an expert on Libya. He doesn't know the first thing about Benghazi or what was happening in Libya. Why didn't Tyler Drumheller, who was the author of these memos, why didn't he send them to Hillary Clinton? Why go through Sidney Blumenthal?
That I can't answer. Other than I have to tell you, Congressman, that they've been old friends. I don't know. I mean, were these going to a State Department account or to her private? And I guess that's sort of a mystery because she's so intertwined them that we don't know what's personal and private.
It's actually not a mystery. They all went to her personal email. and then were forwarded, sometimes with comment, sometimes not with comment. I do not know whether she relied on them or not. I just find it interesting. She had an intelligence apparatus at the State Department, and we have an entire agency called the CIA. So why are you getting intelligence briefings from someone who knows nothing about Benghazi or Libya, and why are you forwarding them to your senior advisors in the State Department? But I can't ask Sidney Blumenthal that. I have to ask the Secretary.
All right, one quick question. First of all, I think they should. I mean, it's terrible that they weren't disclosed to you earlier. That I agree is terrible. But I wonder, are we going to see the transcript from the Sidney Blumenthal deposition anytime sooner? Are you going to release it?
Well, Greta, as you know, I have not released a transcript of any previous witness, and I have no plans to release the transcript for any future witnesses. So it is incumbent upon my Democrat colleagues to tell me why we should treat this witness specially or differently. And I'm not inclined to release the transcript, but I am open-minded to being persuaded that I am wrong. But the burden of proof is pretty high when you've never done it in the past and you're not going to do it in the future. You got to convince me why Sidney Blumenthal is special and different, and that's a steep burden to climb.
And, of course, I need to be convinced why more emails aren't being turned over when I hear that there's sort of drip, 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 drip from the State Department and from other people, is that this email thing is really it's really a nightmare. They should be disclosed. Chairman Gowdy, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.